What if I told you that buying your dream home could turn into your worst nightmare? Imagine walking through a house that you completely fell in love with during a quick walkthrough, only to discover mold creeping up behind freshly painted walls, a roof that leaks every time it rains, or a neighborhood that keeps you up all night with train horns and sirens. These aren't just hypotheticals. They are real stories from real people. Buying a home is one of the biggest decisions that you're ever going to make. And while it's exciting, it can also be risky if you're not careful. That's why today we're going to dive into some truly shocking homebuyer stories. We're going to break down the mistakes that they made, and I'll share some tips with you so you can avoid the same fate. And stick around because I'm also going to share with you some eye-opening statistics from Hippo Insurance's 2025 Housepower Report that might make you rethink your home buying strategy altogether. So let's dive right in. Our first story comes from a Reddit user who made a decision that they're going to regret for years to come. Here's what they shared. I waived the home inspection because I was desperate to beat other offers. A month later, the basement flooded and I found out the previous owners had hidden water damage with fresh paint. I am $15,000 in the hole now. Let's talk about why this happens so often. When the market is competitive, buyers feel pressured to waive all contingencies to make their offers stand out against other buyers. It is a calculated risk, but for many, it's a gamble that just doesn't pay off. Because here's the thing about inspections, they're not just a formality. They're your chance to uncover hidden problems that might not be obvious during a showing. Water damage, faulty wiring, structural issues. These are things that you won't spot unless you're trained to look for them. If you are ever in this position, here's what you can do. Instead of waiving the inspection outright, consider doing just a yes or no inspection. This way the seller doesn't have to worry about fixing anything, making any repairs, giving you a credit. You're simply going to do the inspection for informational purposes only, but with the option to void the contract if you decide not to move forward. Or if that's not an option, consider doing what we call around here in the DC area a pre-inspection. Meaning you pay for the inspection before you write the offer. It's the same set of eyes, the same inspector, but it's a walk and talk, half the money, half the time, and they will point out to you any red flags they see, any big ticket items, so then you have all the information to make a decision if you want to write an offer on that house or not. If you decide to move forward, you write an offer without an inspection contingency because you've already done it. It is well worth the money. Full disclosure, not every seller is going to let you do it, but it doesn't hurt to ask, because if they do and you get to do that and you can write a clean offer, it will make your offer stand out against all the other offers because you don't have that inspection contingency, but you have had those professional eyes on the house. And if you're wondering whether this really matters, listen to this statistic from Hippo Insurance. Last year, 46% of homeowners face repair costs over $5,000. Many of these issues could have been caught with a proper inspection. Don't be part of that statistic. I mean, let me ask you, would you skip an inspection during a bidding war? Let me know in the comments. Next up, we have a homeowner whose regret has everything to do with the neighborhood they moved into. Here's what they shared. The house was perfect, but I didn't research the area. Turns out there's a train that blares its horn every night at 2 a.m. and the traffic is unbearable during rush hour. I'm stuck with earplugs and regret. This story is a classic example of falling in love with a house without considering what it's actually like to live there. A house isn't just four walls and a roof. It's also everything around it. Noise, traffic, schools, safety. These are all factors that can turn your dream home into a nightmare. So how do you avoid making this mistake? First, spend time in the neighborhood. Visit at different times of the day and week. What's serene on a Sunday afternoon when they usually have open houses might be total chaos during a weekday morning. Second, talk to the neighbors. They'll give you the real scoop on what it's like to live there. And a good time to find those neighbors is during those open houses. You would be surprised how many nosy neighbors come to check out that house. So if you are going to an open house, find out if there's neighbors and talk to them outside of the house. And finally, do your homework online. Websites like crimemapping.com or Google Maps can give you valuable insights about safety, amenities, and commute times. And remember, even if the house is perfect, the neighborhood could make or break your experience living there. Don't let excitement cloud your judgment. Our next story comes from a Reddit user who learned the cost of home ownership doesn't stop at the purchase price. Here's what they shared. I thought I got a deal on an older home. Within 6 months, I replaced the roof, water heater, and HVAC. I didn't realize owning a home would feel like running a marathon with my wallet. Older homes have charm, sure, but they also come with surprises, sometimes expensive ones. According to Hippo's 2025 Housepower Report, unexpected maintenance issues affected 83% of homeowners in 2024 compared to 46% in 2023. Water damage, roof damage, and window or door issues were the most common problem areas. So how do you prepare? First, like we said before, get a detailed home inspection and pay attention to the major systems like the roof and HVAC and plumbing. Second, create a maintenance fund. Experts recommend setting aside 1% of your home value every year for repairs. So for a $300,000 home, that's $3,000 annually. And if you're buying an older home, be realistic about what you're getting yourself into. Charm is great, but make sure that your budget matches the possible upkeep. Finally, let's talk about trends. This recent homebuyer shared their regrets about prioritizing looks over functionality. Here's what they wrote. I bought a modern farmhouse because it looked great on Instagram. Now I'm realizing open shelving is a nightmare to keep clean, and the shiplap walls are starting to look dated. Here's the problem with trends. They age quickly. What looks modern today could look outdated tomorrow. And some features, like open shelving, might not be practical for your lifestyle. Sure, they look great in photos, but do you really want to spend your weekends dusting dishes? When choosing design features, try to think long term. Ask yourself, will this work for me in 5 or 10 years? Trends come and go, but functionality is forever. Before we wrap up, let's talk about something every homeowner should know: the rising costs of maintenance and repairs. Hippo Insurance's 2025 Housepower Report revealed some startling statistics that should be a wake-up call for anyone buying or even already owning a home. Here's the headline statistic. In 2024, 46% of homeowners reported facing unexpected repairs that cost over $5,000. Let that sink in for a minute. That's nearly half of all homeowners dealing with major unforeseen expenses. And to make it worse, that number is up from 36% the previous year. So not only are these costs significant, they're becoming more common. So what are homeowners spending money on? The report lists the top 3 culprits as water damage, HVAC breakdowns, and roof repairs. Let's start with water damage. This can come from burst pipes, flooding, or even slow leaks that go unnoticed until they cause major issues. According to Hippo, water damage accounts for a significant chunk of those repair bills. What is worse is that homeowners find out too late that their insurance doesn't cover all water-related incidents, especially ones caused by neglect, like failing to maintain plumbing or gutters. Next, HVAC breakdowns. Your heating and cooling systems work hard year-round, especially in areas with extreme weather. But when was the last time you had yours serviced? Regular maintenance may cost a couple $100s, but replacing a broken system can cost you thousands. Finally, there's the roof. It's one of the most critical parts of your home, but also one of the most expensive to repair or replace. The average cost to replace a new roof can range from $8,000 to $15,000 or more, depending on the size and materials. And like water damage, roof issues often go unnoticed until they become massive, massive headaches. So how do you prepare for these kinds of expenses? Besides setting aside money for repairs, regular maintenance like cleaning your gutters, getting your HVAC serviced, can help you catch small problems before they become big ones. Prevention is always cheaper than repair. The Hippo report also reported that in 2024, a striking 73% of homeowners reported at least one regret related to their home purchase, compared to 63% in 2023. The top 3 homeowner regrets are: number 1, compromising on desired home features. Nearly half, 42% of homeowners identified this as a regret, increasing its prevalence by 22 percentage points from the 2023 Housepower Report, where only 20% cited it as a top concern. Number 2, shouldering oppressive mortgage rates. 34% of respondents regret taking on a mortgage rate higher than they could comfortably afford. With fluctuating interest rates and market competition driving up home prices, some respondents were financially stretched thin. The third most popular regret reported by homeowners included facing more unexpected issues than they anticipated. For 29% of homeowners, the added stress of navigating repairs or renovations could sour the homeowner experience, transforming a once exciting milestone into an ongoing challenge. These regrets may explain why this survey also found that 59% of respondents said they plan to move in 2025. So what can you do to avoid being part of these statistics? Here are 3 actionable tips based on Hippo's insights. Number 1, I know I sound like a broken record, but prioritize inspections and maintenance. Don't wait till something breaks. Schedule annual checkups for your roof, HVAC, and plumbing systems. Number 2, start a maintenance fund as soon as possible. Even if you're not currently a homeowner, begin setting aside money now so you're ready when the time comes. And number 3, stay informed about what your homeowner's insurance covers and what it doesn't. Many policies exclude certain types of water damage or wear and tear, so make sure you understand your coverage and update it if needed. At the end of the day, the biggest takeaway from Hippo's Housepower Report is this: homeownership isn't just about buying a property, it's about maintaining it. If you treat your home like the long-term investment it is, you'll be better prepared to handle the challenges that come along with it. So let's wrap this whole thing up. What's the bottom line? Never skip an inspection. If you can help it, I understand sometimes you really can't help it, but if you can help it, never skip an inspection. Always research the neighborhood. This you can do. Budget for repairs before you buy the house, so you have that money set aside. And choose timeless functionality over fleeting trends. Buying a home is a big decision, but with the right preparation, it doesn't have to come with regrets. Have you experienced any homebuyer remorse? If you had, share your story in the comments so we can all learn from it. I think it's important because the more you know, the more you can prepare. And if you missed the video where we go over why homebuyer remorse is exploding, definitely check that out next. Thanks for watching, and remember, buying smart is always better than buying fast. See you in the next one. Bye!